Hello everyone, I am known as Panda Design and I am a full-time thumbnail designer. I have worked with some of the biggest creators on YouTube like Mr. Who's the Boss, Tyler Oliveira, The Burnt Chip, The Boys and many more. This introduction is so you know that I am already at a position as a thumbnail designer you might wanna be at, and all the information that I am going to share in this video is from my own real and personal experience, not just theories. So what does thumbnail designer mean and what is even the job of a thumbnail designer? When you open YouTube, the preview images you see for each video, these are called thumbnails. So the job of a thumbnail designer is to make these images better and clickable using Photoshop and stuff so that people click on it and the video gets more views. So it's very simple. Creators would want to get more views on their videos so that they can build bigger audience, get more ad revenue and more sponsorship revenue. So hiring a thumbnail designer for their video to increase their views is an investment to them, and that's why they pay thumbnail designers, and that's how thumbnail designers make money. Now you know the basics of what this job is. Now you are supposed to know if this job is right for you and if there is a scope in this job and a potential to make good money. First of all, I want to say that if you are here just for fun, just to make some quick bucks, just to as a side hustle, as you might have watched some video on YouTube where you might have heard that you could make easily $200 to $500 a thumbnail as a side hustle by using just a small amount of your time, then that's not a reality. You need to be very good at this job in order to make those numbers or more, and it is impossible in about less than a year. So you need to think long term here. This goes for pretty much every skill you would like to learn, like video editing, copywriting. You need to work for a long time in order to get those skills and experience, because beginners are very saturated and experts have more work than they can handle. So you should aim to become an expert, which is a long-term game. So you need to think at least working for about a year to make a decent money from it. And if that doesn't sound good to you, then this might not be for you. However, this can be different for you if you have already some experience in Photoshop, typography or drawing, something like that. They can act as your unfair advantage and you will go faster than a complete beginner. So it might take you less time if you already have some previous skills which can be applied to Photoshop. Now that you have decided that you are going to do it, how do you start? Let's start with the software first. There are plenty of softwares out there that you can choose from, but the most obvious and better software is gonna be Photoshop. Photoshop and Lightroom subscription cost about $10 a month. I would not recommend you to go with the pirated versions because you won't be able to access the new upcoming and useful tools like generative fill. You can find and learn the basics of Photoshop on YouTube for entirely free. There's a wonderful course by Piximperfect on YouTube which is completely free, and I have watched it too, so I would recommend you to check that out. There's literally hundreds and thousands of tutorials about Photoshop on YouTube. Once you get the basics down and know how all the tools work, you're gonna start creating some designs for practice. I recommend you to do some fun projects like cutting your own images, changing its background, editing your family photos, so that you have fun while learning and you're not bored easily. This is one of the best way to learn it. Like when you edit, you will come across hurdles like how do I change color of something, how do I remove blemishes, and then you search for specific tutorials for specific problems on YouTube and you learn it and you apply it, and then you'll be able to remember it forever. That's how the learning process works. Now you know how the software works. How do you design a thumbnail now? Thumbnail and thumbnail designing is not a very new thing, but being a thumbnail designer as a potential full-time job is a very new thing. So there's basically no course or roadmap, anything like that on the internet that you can learn from that I'm aware of, which is also something I'm working on. However, there are some designer creators who create content on YouTube to teach about thumbnails and stuff just like me, so I'll drop the link to their channels below that you can check out and learn from there. There are some specific videos by these designers where they design a thumbnail completely from scratch, so I recommend you to watch those. That way you will get a more clear vision of how a thumbnail designing works from scratch. Once you go through these videos and have a better understanding of how a thumbnail is designed from scratch, and I recommend you to practice from these tutorials so you learn more clearly. Once you go through all of this, when you open YouTube, you'll have new eyes like a superhero X-ray vision. When you see thumbnails, you'll be able to see how these thumbnails are created. You'll be able to see in like, oh, there's a drop shadow, there's a lens flare, there's a text mask behind his head and all that sort of stuff. The same thing happens for video editors too. Once they learn this thing, they'll start noticing the background sound effects, animation and all that sort of stuff. So There will be time when you will be able to see thumbnails and you will feel like this is so easy, I know how it is all created and I can create it myself too. And there will be some times where you will see a thumbnails and you will have completely no idea how this thing is created and which looks very good. So you should consider creating a separate folder as a thumbnail inspiration for them and save them there to come back for little inspiration. Now in order to work, socialize, get clients, build your own portfolio and your own personal brand, you're gonna use the one and only platform known as Twitter or X. Now if you're wondering why Twitter, because literally every other YouTube creative is on this app. Now create an account there, set up your profile. If you look over 18, then use your own photo, and if you look like an 8-year-old, then don't use your own photo, use a logo or something, because no one would want to do business with a kid unless he's a prodigy. So make sure your account doesn't give a childish or amateur impression. You can use a simple banner, simple bio, and make sure to mention a CTA, which is call to action, like DM me, I am available, and something like that. Don't try to sound so smart or you'll be caught very easily. Don't talk about stuff like increasing CTR and stuff like that you have no control over. You're only increasing the odds of getting more clicks on a thumbnail by making it more eye-catchy, but whether it will get that or not, that is not in your control. So don't talk about that stuff. CTR is dependent on a lot of things that you have literally no control over. Now you need to build your personal brand and connections in order to get work. You can go to my profile or any other designer's profile, follow them, go to their following list and follow all the relevant people to this YouTube thingy. When you go to other designers' profile, you will be able to see how they have set up their profile, how they have set up their banner, their bio, how they post their work, and how they connect with each other. Take some ideas from there and implement them on your own. I recommend you to join the Thumbnail 101 Discord server, where there are a lot of designers including me, and we all help each other out, and you can get job and works there as well. Another thing, David Altizer hosts a Twitter space known as Thumbnail Thursday every Thursday, so you can chime in that and connect with other designers there and ask any queries that you might have. Now you are everywhere and connected with everyone. It's time to share your work. But you are new and you don't have any clients now. How do you design a thumbnail? Recreating an already existing thumbnail is a great way to practice, but I do not recommend to share it on Twitter to get work. Instead, what you can do is, when you go to YouTube and see a bad thumbnail, you can create a version better of that thumbnail and share that on Twitter, and there's a chance that that creator might also contact you and hire you for his thumbnails. Or my favorite method that I use to start out, that is to create custom thumbnail for a custom imaginary video. Like here I pulled out an image of Mr. Beast from his Instagram and put him on a spaceship kind of thing, and made a custom imaginary title. I built a real life UFO working, and it is one of my most liked thumbnails I've shared on Twitter. So if you do something like this, people will be able to see your creativity and skills, and you will be able to stand out. By posting works on Twitter, we are creating a personal brand and doing attraction marketing. We are not going to creators and cold messaging them. Instead, they get attracted to us and they will DM us. Here comes an interesting thing that you should keep in mind, that share only the type of works that you like making, because you will attract clients accordingly. For example, you don't like creating finance thumbnails and you want to get clients who want IRL thumbnails, but if you post finance thumbnails, you will get more clients that want finance thumbnails, which is not what you want. So you should share IRL thumbnails in order to get clients who want IRL thumbnails. So share the type of work that you want to get. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Once again, make sure you have call to action in your posts as well, just as you have in your bio. So once you post and interact with other designers for like 10 days, you will see growth in yourself, your designers, your followers, and your DM requests. Now when you receive a DM from a YouTuber, how do you handle it? Generally, I start by thanking them for reaching out, and I talk about the pricing very early on so that we don't waste our time. Now here comes a tricky question. How much should you charge? How much price should you tell them when they ask what your rate is and you don't know their budget? I recommend you to charge around $50 a thumbnails when you are starting out, You might have to do some negotiations, and the budget of client may vary. Either way, make a start for around $50 a thumbnail and get to work. I'm not usually worried about getting payments, but if the client seems new and you can't find his roots and he seems kind of sketchy, make sure you get the payment upfront, full or half. Now we'll have a real experience of creating a thumbnail for a real client. The client may have already prepared a concept for his thumbnails or might ask you for help. Be prepared for that and help him out with the concepts. It will make you more reliable. If you don't understand something, make sure to ask questions clearly until everything is clear. If you even don't understand something, you can ask your designer peers for help in the Discord server. Make sure to share the thumbnail progress with your client once you are somewhat done to see if you are on the right track or not. Once you finish the design, it's not the job done yet, it's the first draft, and your client might want some changes, which is called revisions. So you do that. Now it's done and your client is happy. Now you can share this work on Twitter and attract more clients. For a portfolio, gather all the thumbnails, real and imaginary, that you have done, and create a portfolio on a platform of your choice and put the link to that portfolio in your bio. I'd recommend you to get Twitter Blue too. It makes your account look genuine and professional, and I consider it as a good investment. After that, you will be in a very exciting journey. You'll get to learn a lot of new things. You'll meet a lot of new creators, YouTubers who you admire can slide into your DMs. You'll meet some really low ballers, some promoters, some good people, some bad people, so on and so forth. Whenever you work on a client project, make it so good so that you can post it on Twitter to reply to the kind comments you receive on your post, and be kind to other designers and your clients as well. Give them a good service so they come back to you again and again and you can retain them. A very important thing, increase your rates as your skills and knowledge grow every month, and so good luck. It's going to be a wild ride. Thanks for watching.